Hi guys, and welcome to another video brought to you by the good people at FM Wonderkids. Today we're going to be looking at the best young Scottish players in the game. So as you can see with a lot of the other videos in this series, I have simmed the game for a good 6 years. We are now in the date 12th of July 2021. That gives us the advantage of seeing into the future and seeing how players develop in that 6 year period. I have put together a short list here of all the best Scottish players in the game, and I've ordered them via value to start with. So, top of the list, valued at a cool £9.75 million, is Ryan Gould, or Ryan Gould, however you pronounce that. And this guy's been hotly tipped for, I think, 2 or maybe 3 games in a row now. He is very good technically, and he does develop very well. He's still only 25, so he's like this. I've heard him being described as the Scottish Messi, or the Scottish Messi, as it was pronounced. So we have acceleration, we have pace, we have vision, we have off the ball, we have decisions, we have anticipation, dribbling, first touch, and passing, and we have versatility. This guy is a fantastic little player. I believe he starts the game at Sporting Lisbon, which is where he is here. It looks like they loan him out for the first season, so that might be a good tactic. Try and get this guy in on loan if you're a Premier League team, and put in a buy clause. So what I mean by that is you can loan someone for a period of either until the end of the season or either until 12 months. Always choose 12 months, because then you could put a buy clause in, which means gives you the option to buy that player for, say, an agreed fee, which may be £4 million, for example. If you're only loaning that player till the end of the season, then you may not have the transfer budget to enact that clause. But whereas if you're loaning him for 12 months, that player will still be there when your new transfer budget comes through next season. So that's just a little tip for you guys if you're trying to buy a player via the loan market. The next guy on the list is Ryan Christie. He is another attacking midfielder, and he's very versatile as well, the same as Mr. Ryan over there. The only real position he's not natural in is the midfield right position. He's got long shots, he's got first touch, he's got dribbling and finishing, and he's got passing. So he'd be very naturally fit into that attacking midfield centre role, because he can finish and he can pass and he can shoot from outside the box. Good little player. He's got composure and he's got vision. He may not be the quickest out of the bunch, but he's got the technical skills to get you out of some problems in that final third. If we have a quick look at his history here, he is playing at Inverness Caledonian Thistle, and then Celtic, then Aston Villa for £4.4 million, and he plays every single game for them by the look of it, and goes to QPR for £8.2 million. His average rating is pretty good, so he's definitely a player who would be worth splashing some money on. Next in the list is Andrew Robertson, a left back, 27 years of age, and he's worth £8 million. Wow, he's very solid statistically wise. He's playing for Manchester City here, so he's playing for a big club. Very good left back. He's got pace and stamina, which you need as a left back. He's got the attacking left back stats, which are dribbling and crossing, and he can also tackle and mark. He's got positioning as well, which is a good stat to have as a defensive player. Not as essential in the fullback roles, but it does play into his hands. He's a very good little player. I'd definitely, even if I was a top club, I'd be looking at trying to pick this guy up at the start of the game. Let's have a look at his history. So you can see here he is a Hull player at the start of the game, and then he moves to Leicester for £7 million after a season. His average rating is really good to start with, drops off a little bit. He only played 1 game in this season for Leicester. Maybe he got injured. So if he did get injured for a long period of time, you can assume that he would develop more if he wasn't injured, if you see what I mean. So very promising little player there, who I would look at getting in if I was looking to fill a left back's role. Next guy in the value scale is worth £7 million, and he's another left back or attacking midfielder on the left side, playing for Swansea at the moment, Joe Bryan. Very, very consistent all over the park, and he's very, very versatile. He can play all the way up the left side and all the way up the right side. You might need a bit of training in whichever role you decide to put him on the right side. But if we have a quick look at his graph here, he's solid all over the board, apart from early, he's quite short. So he's a good little player. I could imagine him playing in the centre of midfield, for example, because he is such a well-rounded player. A relatively well-rounded player, that is. You won't be able to play him at Manchester United, for example, but you may, for example, if you're Bristol City, he would be a good player for you. Swansea picked him up here for 3.5 million. Before that, he went from Bristol City to Blackburn for 1.4 million, so that's the kind of money you can expect to pay for him. And he's a good, solid little defensive player to have in your squad. These two players here are valued highly but not rated highly by my scouts, so we'll just check them out quickly. McLeod, he's got very good long shots, which is a handy little stat to have, and he's good at passing, so he's a good centre midfielder because he's got the mentality, and he's got a little bit of physicality as well, and he's got some of the technical attributes. If we have a look at his graph here, again, it's quite all round, but again, he's quite short. I don't know what they're putting up in the water in Scotland, but they're all very short. Yeah, very good little player, again, relatively, for a small club. For example, he's at Brentford here, no disrespect to Brentford fans. Plays at Rangers here. This is before the game starts, mind, so 850, so he plays for Brentford at the start of the game. And he stayed there all his career. Maybe someone you might want to pick up if you're looking for that kind of player. Next, 4.9 million, Stevie May, not rated very highly by my scouts. But he's a finisher by the look of it. He's a poacher. Yeah, he's got pace, he's got off the ball, he's got acceleration. He is definitely someone I'd be looking to bring in to score me goals. If I was maybe a championship team, I think he could do that for you. 28 years old here. If we have a look at his history, we'll see just how many goals he can score. So he hit 20 goals in a season there, which is good. Previously to that, he was hitting about 9. That was his best season there, 20 goals a season. So here's a goal scorer, Stevie May, plays for Preston. Alex Moat, left midfielder, plays for Leeds. I think he's hotly tipped at the start of the game. You can see he's quite well rounded. Maybe physically not the greatest, but he can pass the ball and he's got vision. He's got composure, so he's quite a technical player in that centre midfield role. You can see his graph is pointing towards the vision, so he's someone you could stick in the middle of the field with a more defensive player, and I think he would thrive. See here, he gets some assists and he gets some good average ratings, so he's definitely someone who would benefit your team. Next, we're going to change the order a bit. We're going to see what my scouts think. Bring a couple of people up here. So it's brought Robbie McLaury up, goalkeeper for Hull, 23 years old. So the start of the game, he must be about 12 or something. You'd be able to pick him up for absolute peanuts and develop him that way. He's got a lot of good goalkeeping stats. So he's got aerial reach, handling, reflexes, agility is what I normally look for. Positioning, a lot of goalkeepers fall down on their positioning. That's very good. If we have a little closer look at him, you can see he's 6'2", and he's strong. So he's a good goalkeeper, and he will develop more. Goalkeepers don't really reach their peak until 30 years old. So that would be a great little investment for someone. Right, that just about concludes our scouting mission to Scotland. Thank you very much for joining us. Next, I think we're going to move around the UK. We'll do Ireland and Northern Ireland, and then finally we'll go to the Welsh Wizards. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, please click like and subscribe for more great content coming soon.